and the other one runs 20 seconds on 100 meters. The one with the 20 seconds is not less worth. He has the same worth as a human being. He doesn't have the ability to run 10 seconds on 100. Do not mix this up. If you follow these items, whoever you are, male, female, you become a good teacher. If you do not follow, you will have trouble all the time. Or it's a question, trouble starts. Or it is a question, parents of the children will turn up. Does somebody have questions to this part? I always give a historical review. That's why I started off with Primus Secundus. That's it. In the old days, there were no schools in the understanding today. There were perhaps schools in Jewish schools in their way, perhaps schools in private schools, and rich people at that time, the dukes, the rich barons, the counts, the kings, and so on, they were able to have private teachers. All these kings and queens and so on, they had private teachers. Now I give you a trick. If you explain something, give a donkey pitch, we call it donkey pitch. Donkey. The teacher of Mary Stuart, Queen Mary of Scotland, she was French, got ill, and he went to the book and said, do something for Mary, that she is getting healthy again. And the cook went, fruit, and cooked the fruit until there was only no water left. And that was what they called Marie Malade, sick Mary. And today it's called marmalade. So you know now how marmalade exists, and I hope you do not forget that the old time there were rich people as teachers and not you. Huh? We all didn't have, because I also know she's also not from a royal family. Some churches, religions, how I said before, form children in monasteries or in different communities. That was already done. Then came, when time passed on, came the Latin schools in Middle Age. Latin, they had in school 8 years Latin, 7 lessons a week in the beginning. To become lawyers, doctors, what you would call doctors at that time, reverends, priests, writers. The people like we will not be able to write. You could go to a writer and tell him to write a letter, or to read the letter I would get. Philosophers, clerks, and others. The Latin schools at that time were more or less private. You see, my computer doesn't know this, more or less. That's what I do. Or they belonged to the church, these Latin schools. the, in the Islamic world, there were the missionaries, like here, the Dutch, who invented schools. And from this invention of the schools, there were the British, the French, the Spanish, and so on. They brought the schools with the church. The church was the place, was the institution that said, after the Reformation, we have to educate everybody. And they had 4 years primary school, and that was it. After the Reformation, we had the so-called Enlightenment, and people started to realize that education should be open for all. That's the 17th, 18th century, not too long ago. The Enlightenment started around 1700 in the reaction of the Reformation. That is in the Catholic Church, the Reformation. The people said, what's going on in the Catholic Church? We do not want the Pope anymore, and so we are now changed. The Reformators were Luther, Zwingli, Calvin, how they were called. Perhaps some know, perhaps nobody knows. And the Enlightenment asks for, and this is important for you to listen, that through rational thinking in at all the progress obstructing structures, all what is all progress in obstructing structures will have to be overcome. By thinking, we are able to carry on, we are able to go over what is stopping us, because we are able to think. And that was due to they had schools. One of the results of the Reformation and Enlightenment was that the natural science, and now we come to the point, the natural science was becoming interesting. Before, there were very little people interested in exercise, perhaps farmers. But the rest of the world would be not interested in natural science at all. Natural science was something they were scared of. That was, oh, what's happening there? Oh, they were praying, they were giving, they killed animals that the rain should come. They were dancing that the rain would come. They had no idea about natural science. It was all mystic. Oh, what's going on? And the Reformation and the natural science started in 16th and 17th century. The natural science you are now giving lessons in 16th, 17th, due to the Reformation, due to the Enlightenment. Due to this, that we said, with logic thinking, we can overcome obstacles. It was able to think, how can a machine be developed? James Watt, steam machine. How can we communicate? All these things are the result of Reformation and Enlightenment. And you people, you have the mobile Enlightenment. Well, should that you know Reformation? Because these are all the inventions that came out of this movement of the Enlightenment, because people say, I do not say, oh, it's mystic. It is mystic now how my sound comes to yours, and oh, there must be something around. Oh, who knows? We know how it works. This is thinking logic. And you profit from this movement in the 17th and 18th century. Also, the independence of the United States from Great Britain was a result of the Enlightenment, and also the French Revolution. And I always personally say, thank you to the French. As long as the French are alive, we know what freedom means. If the French are no more there, freedom is gone. So look to the French, because they fight for freedom, I tell you. Are there questions to this historical part? Now I kindly ask my wife to carry on here. That is she.
Sebelumnya, sampai historical itu, apa ada yang mau bertanya? Let me explain to the student, maybe yes, in Indonesian. Jadi tadi yang pertama, Pak Johanover menyampaikan hal terpenting yang harus punya untuk menjadi seorang guru. Itu yang pertama, be yourself. Jadilah dirimu sendiri. Terus kemudian respect all children. Jangan pilih-pilih siswa meskipun ada yang dari berbagai latar belakang keluarga, mereka datang ke sekolah dengan berbagai bentuk, itu jangan pilih sih gitu. Terus kemudian be and stay consequent. Jadi jadilah konsekuen sama apa yang dilakukan, kemudian diucapkan dan sebagainya. Kemudian act wisely, jadi bijaksanalah. Meskipun di kelas itu nanti akan bertemu dengan berbagai bentuk siswa yang mungkin 2 tambah 2 itu sama dengan 5. Sudah diberitahu tapi besok masih tahunya seperti itu. Jadi bijaksanalah. Terus kemudian never threaten. Jangan pernah mengancam. Ya, kalau misalnya di dalam pengajaran itu ada reward and punishment, tetapi tidak boleh mengancam. Itu beberapa hal yang digarisbawahi di pertama oleh Pak Howard. Dan kemudian yang kedua, Pak Howard menerangkan tentang historical review of education ya. Jadi dengan natural science ada satu hal penting yang saya garisbawahi di akhir tadi Pak Howard bilang perkembangan zaman itu bukanlah mistik. And this is science. Ya, jadi ketika berbicara begitu dengan mic ada suara yang bisa terdengar. Nah, ini science, mistik. Dan masih banyak lagi ada di science. Kita bisa bilang kuantum fisik ya, kuantum fisik. Ya, itu kalau bisa bilang metafisik. Ya. Kalau mungkin dulu masih dipahami itu adalah hal-hal yang berbau mistik, tetapi ternyata bisa dilogikakan begitu. Jadi with logic thinking we can solve the obstacle. Dengan pemikiran yang logis kita bisa memecahkan berbagai macam persoalan gitu. And then after that Mr. Hopper will continue the next.
Now we come to the natural science lessons. The frameworks, you have frameworks. The conditions of the framework. In each lesson, you should laugh at least one time. Even if it's stupid. But laugh. Because if you laugh with the children, they remember well. If you only all the time, they will say, hey, who is that person? And the other thing I forgot to say before, do not behave